But just the very fact that here you have these two guys who took a stab at adapting this, I don't have the book here, but, you know, the Kindle over there, whatever, this piece of work into another medium, you know, we're all, like, crying and screaming, like, when's there gonna be a movie? When's there gonna be a TV show? Well, you know what? Two guys were like, we want to put this into another medium. And Diana was like, go ahead. And they did it. They did it. However
Could that be because Randall Wallace is too busy on Entourage to
I
start writing a
I don't know,
screenplay?
but I'm just saying, like, you know, props to them. Props to them for...
Oh, yeah, and
You say the same thing. I know you do.
I'm not saying anything other than what she's saying. I totally agree. I think they're wonderful. It's just not for me.
I think you're never going to get Carol on board with a musical, with musical theater. The way
some of the light, right? And I said that on the blog. Some of the lighthearted stuff, fine, and that
like
that
you would
beautiful,
totally
beautiful
like
wedding, the song about them getting what is that
the
called?
Blood of My Blood. That's
the Gaelic.
Blah, 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 blah.
Holy, I loved it. I just thought the whole thing was going to sound like that and be in Gaelic and.
She would like the
I Am Ready.
Why Did I Marry Fraser? That was really funny.
No, I didn't.
You didn't like it?
Listen to it. Didn't like it.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
Yes, I didn't
No,
like it.
you didn't. You just listened to the snippet.
Tracey, I'm not gonna like it. I'm sorry.
All right. We are gonna cut that short. But I have too much to say. I do have to make a whole video about the musical.
You should make one and put it up.
I should because it's just like I have so much to say that it just takes time to write it all down.
And that's great because people who are really into musicals will totally watch it.
I would love to just sit with these guys and be like, why did, like, for example, they... What? We're not. Who's talking? Whatever. They seem to leave out, like, okay, in the book, the climax, I would say, of the story is Claire's redemption or absolution and the redemption of Jamie's soul, say, right?
Okay.
In the musical, it's really more, the climax seems to be more rescuing him from Blackjack Randall.
Oh.
Which is actually not a bad choice to make, given that, like, I don't know how you'd pull off that, the whole going to the Abbey and whatever. I don't know how you'd pull that off. But I would like to be like, how did you decide to do that? How did you decide to cut that part? This is a really good thing. The very beginning, the whole like Frank Claire part, they really create a rift between the two of them right off the bat, which I think works really well.
Works for me.
Works really well.
Works for me.
Don't you think so?
As being not a huge fan of Frank.
Yeah. No, they create like a rift right away. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be, you know, like we'll go back to being married and like why, you know, we're strangers, whatever. Really liked that. So that's the kind of thing I would just like to sit down with the creators and be like, pick the brains, because I think the whole adaptation thing is really cool. All right, enough said. Next topic.
Okay. Will Tracey wear the bracelet? I'm collecting charms so I can make my own version.
Talk for 2 seconds.
Will you reread Dragonfly and blog about it? And that is from Terry. And Tracey just clearly left. So I'm kind of considering, do I hit the pause button or do I just keep talking about whatever I want to right now? Here's the deal. Started Dragonfly today. I think I said that earlier. And I'm really nervous. I'm terrified. I know what's coming. It's worse than the first time. The first time I read Dragonfly, I called Tracey on page 2 and said, what the? And I remember complaining to her and saying, I don't want dead Jamie Fraser. I don't want to read flashbacks. You know, once they flash back to the 18th century, I was like, I don't want to read flashbacks. I don't want to read about him after he's already dead. And Tracey was like, Carol, he was dead when you started reading, you know?
Didn't Jamie say that in Drums of Autumn?
So I like that. And I was like, all right. And that's sort of what gave me the strength to go on. And so now it's harder in a sense because I know what is coming. And I know there's going to be a lot of France. That's going to be
you can hear the canon in D already. Or not the canon in D.
The France stuff. Is
Adagio for strings. You can hear it already.
The France stuff is gonna. Although some of it I thought was pretty dang funny, so I'm kind of looking forward to some of it. But I'm not looking forward to some of the stuff that goes on. It's it's hard, but you got to get through it. You got to do it so that you can move on to Voyager, right?
Oh yeah. Oh.
She's doing some playing with her bracelet. Okay, Terry, thank you for your question. Okay. And next, Anonymous. I'm reading Voyager at the moment for the dozenth time. I'd love to hear you two discuss the reunion of Jamie and Claire with such an emotional scene.
Best part.
Her favorite.
Best part in 7
favorite.
books and however many millions of pages.
Yes.
And words.
Yes.
Okay, and by the way, here we go.
Hello. I should have mine on. Should I run and get mine while you're talking?
We've already seen
Ooh,
yours.
I haven't seen all of these. Which ones are different from mine?
I don't know, but we'll look at that later
I don't
because
think
we
I
have
this
5
guy.
minutes and 34 seconds left.
Why? We're only doing 3 this time?
We'll do 4 if you want
Okay.
to, whatever.
Okay.
No, Voyager.
Voyager.
That reuniion's, let me just tell you guys, okay, I always got to stuff for it before you did, right? They know that, whatever.
Yes.
I was reading ahead.
Mentor.
And that, that the first 200 pages of Voyager are just so painful because Jamie, it is. It's like he's Job. It's like he's Job. It's like he's
May I interrupt you for
what?
a second? The surefire way to get me to cry is while I'm driving, put on a song that reminds me of Jamie sitting in Hellwater or something. I will lose it. This reminds me of Karen, too, when she was talking about don't drive.
Oh, my God.
Drive
Best advice ever.
Friends don't let friends drive and read.
And listen to Davina talk about Outlander.
And it's the truth. But if I'm driving and I hear a song that reminds me of Jamie in Hellwater or Jamie
in the cave,
in prison, or I will while I'm driving.
Okay. So it's like he's so Jobian, okay? In those first 200 pages, all this shit goes down. It's awful. It's horrible. You're just like so depressed for him. And then later, oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
Oh, Tracey, you're so close.
No, really, I am kind of close. Okay. And
water.
And I wasn't doing that either. I probably should.
You should. You're gonna have a headache.
Whatever. Okay. No. So. And then you sort of see Claire like living her life, and don't get me wrong, because I think you and I had this argument one time that like Claire had it so easy. No, Claire did not have it easy. Okay, all right, this is going to be more than 10 minutes because
Claire had it easy. I probably might have said Jamie had it harder. Than she
I think you were the one that texted me today and said, "How hard was it for Claire to have to go back to being Claire Randall?"
She walks in to Roger's house to Reverend Wakefield's, and she says, "Hi, hello,
I'm Dr. Claire Randall."
Claire Randall. And I went, it was like the Penny scene in Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve. She called herself Claire Randall, and I just went, Randall, what is she talking about? And I'm like, oh my God, she had to go back for 20 years to calling herself.
But here's the thing.
I would be like in my room by myself going, I'm Claire Fraser, I'm Claire Fraser, Fraser.
So I had an hour to like think about that.
Oh, it killed me.
She had to do
we have
it.
To be quiet. We're being very loud.
Why?
Because my neighbors can hear us.
All right, whatever. She had to do it because of Brianna. That's the thing.
I
mean,
because don't think I don't get it. It makes me sick. Doesn't it make you sick to your stomach?
Every time she would sign a check.
Every time she would beg him.
So you know
Every
what?
Time she'd have to go to
Jamie
bed with Frank.
Outwardly, obviously, in the cave, in Ardmere in Hellwater, obviously had like an awful, awful, awful time. But every time Claire would have to sign her name as Claire Fraser, I mean Claire Randall. Equal. It's in here, but it still is as painful and horrible as, Jamie getting the shit beat out of him somewhere.
Yes, I would be willing to bet that every time she had to say Randall or write out Claire Randall, she thought of Jamie.
Yeah,
every single time.
Oh, well, I mean,
Up
that was
top, sister girl, hooker.
Hook yeah.
Oh, yes.
No, I completely agree. But I mean, like that was how many times a day do you think she thought of Jamie? 20, 30?
How many times do we think of Jamie?